1 minute.
The hit song, I Love College, is a phenomenon on YouTube and MTV. It discusses how the remembrances of college is dedicated by the parties we go to, the people we dance with, and the experiences we have. However, what's significant about this is at the end of the music video, he states that he wants to stay in college forever, enjoying the simple pleasures and essentially remembering college for the fun times he had, not necessarily for the classes he did not want to go to. But really, who does? What we find from Astronaut's I Love College is that it demonstrates how we remember things, is how we make them significant. That if we choose to remember college for the parties and for the enjoyment, that's the significance it will have on our life. Yet if we choose to remember it for the classes and for the academics, therein lies the significance. And it's this idea of memory equating to significance that is demonstrated in today's quotation. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die, by Babe Ruth. What this is saying is that it is the memories we have, not necessarily the initial actions or the impact, that have the significance on our lives and on our society. And I agree with Babe Ruth for two reasons. First, because the initial action and the memories of which can shift, but then second, these memories can be used as a tool to change our lives or to change the future. First, what we must understand is that the actions themselves, though they have occurred, can only be remembered through memories. And these memories have the ability to essentially shift and diverge from how they originally occurred. To understand this, we can first look to the mathematician Paul Erdos, and second, Marx and Engels' Communist Manifesto. First, looking to the mathematician Paul Erdos, he is known as the man who loved only numbers, an interesting thing to only love. However, Erdos is known for being so significant because of the Erdos number. That is, that mathematicians who worked with Paul Erdos on a paper or some sort of scholarship are given an Erdos number of 1. Anyone who worked with them is given a number of 2, and so on and so forth. What this demonstrates is even though Erdos had an initial impact on the mathematics community, the impact that was felt later on shifts and changes, as people whose papers may have nothing to do with Paul Erdos initially still have him in their memory for how he's remembered. Furthermore, we can understand this by looking at Marx and Engels' The Communist Manifesto. Originally written to be a commentary and to be a thought on a political system, the way we interpret the Communist Manifesto has shifted since it was originally written. It is not necessarily an evil or bad thing, but rather a paper on economics and government. It is the memory that we have had of the initial action that has shifted, thus making the memory more significant than the initial action. Furthermore, we understand now that why memories are significant because they can shift, but also that they can be used as a tool for social change. To understand this, we can first look to the example of Rang De Basanti, a Bollywood film, and second, look to the example of the film 300. First, looking to the film Rang De Basanti. In this Bollywood film, we encounter a dual timeline, essentially. One depicting India under British occupation, and one in modern-day India. What we find in this film is that the foreign exchange student comes to India and uses the memory of the previous times in India's history as a tool to enact social change among a group of ambivalent students in India at the modern day. She uses history as a tool to forward their actions, to make them realize that the government that is currently in place in India is corrupt, if not worse, than when the British occupied India. It is through this use of history and memories as a social tool that we find they become all the more significant. Furthermore, looking at the film 300, or more specifically the controversy over the film 300, we see the idea of using history as a propaganda or as a tool. In this, we see that the controversy over Xerxes, the leader of the Persian army, stormed across the headlines as Iranians and Persians said that they were being depicted in an unfair and feminine manner, contrary to what they wished to be portrayed as in the media. What we find from the controversy over the film 300 is that history can be used as a tool for social change or social commentary. That Xerxes was portrayed in a certain way, and a certain community found this to be unfair, or to be used to try and tell a whole new generation of what their people were like. And it is through this we find that it is the memories of something that is significant, more than the actual occurrence. So in looking at the quotation, heroes get remembered, but legends never die, by Babe Ruth, we find that it matters in the significance, in that both heroes and legends have done extraordinary things, in that you and I will most likely do extraordinary things in our lives, but it's how we get remembered. It is the memory of our initial actions that are so significant, because the memories will shift and eventually fall into what they are over time, despite where our action was. And furthermore, those memories can be used as a tool to create change after we are long gone. And in the case of I Love College, it is the memories that will last